Right. Okay. Good morning, everyone. And we'll continue the discussion of our last unit, databases. And last few sessions, we were discussing what a database is. A database, we can simply say a collection of data and information. But it's organized in such a way that we can easily access the data, manage the data, and update the data. Then we discussed there are two databases. Database can be manual or electronic. Manual means usually, yes, we keep our data and information in books, right? Files, and so on. But then we also discussed there are many difficulties. There are a lot of difficulties comes in when you're creating data manually. Right. Therefore, we need to maintain data electronically. And the software responsible for doing this, right, is called database management systems. We say database management systems. Right. And then we discuss a couple of examples like Access, MySQL, Oracle, LibreOffice Base, right? These are, what we are supposed to, learn. And newest one we briefly discussed, Firebase, Neo4j, MongoDB, and SQLite. They're the newest trends. And then we discuss the advantages. So we discuss what advantages of using this such a software. Now, for example, you need very small space to keep the data. For example, in a pen drive, you can keep the library of information. Maybe you can keep all the books in your library in a pen drive. So it's possible. And search and sorting. If you want to search a particular data item, within a fraction of a second, you can do that, right? So likewise, there are many advantages. Then we also look at the data types. I told you now, whenever you want, right? Whenever you want to keep the data inside, you have to define something called data types. Now, for example, let's say you want to store your name. Now, with that one, you need to define what a data type is, right? So the common ones we discussed, there are 5 we have discussed. The text, in a text data type, you can use letters, numbers, and any other special characters. Now, for example, national identity card number, you have a bunch of numbers and a letter. Phone number, it's not really a number. You start with 0, right? And there should be 10 digits. So basically, it's a text. But then if you can use these numbers for calculation, like person's age or maybe salary, it depends. You can make it as a number. And numbers are 2 kinds. First, integer numbers or whole numbers, real, which means decimal number. But another thing that I have discussed regarding this, the numbers, especially inside the computer, we use the binary representation. If you are using binary representation, you cannot represent numbers exactly, especially decimal numbers. So whenever you would represent any financial information, you better use very precise data type, which in this particular case known as currency data type, right? It takes more space, but then again, precision is more important. Next, date and time, right? You can define date and time information. And then we have let me share the screen again. Date and time information. Either it could be a date or a time. Then finally, we discuss Boolean if you want to represent two distinct ones. Right. And then there are other things like attributes we have to discuss, which we have discussed later on. And then we done a couple of examples, right, where you can use this. Okay. Right. Now, our topic, there are many types of database systems are out now. We have relational databases, we have non-relational databases. In other words, sometimes we call SQL databases and NoSQL databases. There are many, but one more important data type that we are going to discuss is relational database systems. In relational database, we are going to keep a collection, a collection of tables, right? Now in this one, for example, if you are keeping track of students' marks for subjects, now usually data is divided into three tables. In my example, we have student information in one table, subject information in another table, and marks in another table. Now, if you ask me why, the reason is, then it's clear, right? If everything together, sometimes insertion data is difficult, updating is difficult, but here you can see we can easily done, right? And then we will have something called relations. So last time we learned about how to set primary keys and foreign keys for that one. Okay, then we started looking at primary key. Isn't it? We discussed primary key. So if you take a table, right, especially relational databases, if you take a table, right, you have to have a field with unique values. Right? And this is we known as a primary key, right? And whenever you create a table, you have to define primary key. So it should not be empty and you should not have any duplicate values. So sometimes one column might not enough. So you have to use set of columns, right? Now, for example, sometimes you can have two fields where you have unique values. So then if you have such a situation, remember, you have to use only one as a primary key. Then if you have a situation where you need like multiple attributes, right, or multiple columns, if you want to use for the primary key, which is the case in this example. So in this example, you see a sports table. We have year and sport, captain and vice captain. If you take each individual columns, we have duplicate values. But if you take both year and sport, then we can find uniqueness. So the primary keys, not only one field, but two. You use both year and sports for this table. Right. Then the last time we discussed the idea of foreign keys. Now, foreign key, the definition is when you take two tables, and let's say these are the column values, we need to have one common field which makes the connection. So in these two cases, let's say we have A and B, and A is the primary key, and then we have C and D, and this is the primary key. But to make the connection, you have to have one attribute is in column. You don't have to have the same name though, but you have to have the data coming from the same, what we call domain. Now in this particular case, you see here, we have A and A, which makes the connection. So the possibility for the foreign key is this one and this one. But then we know that this is only field which connects to the primary key of the other table. So this is the foreign key. Right. So we were discussing this example, and let's look at the answers. Right. Now in this particular case, we have student number, name and address, course number, name, and to track what student takes courses, we have student number and course number. Right. So the first two, we don't have any foreign keys. Yes, you have some choices, but they are not, because they are not connecting to the primary key of the other table. But if you take student number from this point, yes, this is common with the students table, and this connects to students primary key. Right. Okay, then last time we also discussed the relationships. This is very important. So what are the relationships in tables? There are three: one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. If you take two tables, and if you take one record, if it connects exactly one record, the other side, and if you take one record here, if it is connected to the one, right? So in this case, actually it represents, if we call one-to-one, one record to one record. Example, we discuss husband and wife, or principal and school, and so on. Then we can have one-to-many. That means one side you have one, the other side you have many. We call one-to-many. So if you take the relationship between mother and child, yes, one mother can have many children, but when you take one child, you can have only one mother. So which means one-to-many. Then finally we discuss many-to-many, like teacher and students. If you take a teacher, teacher can taught for many students. If you take a student, then many teachers. So we can say it's many-to-many, right? Then we discuss some examples, and this is where we have stopped last time. Creating a form, and we have witnessed how forms can be used to get the information. So let's continue from there. The forms we will use to collect information. Then once you have collected this information, you can use a query. Query means like you are trying to answer for a question, right? So we have to use a query. Right. Now let me show you how we are going to do this. Let's start. Right, now I think we can change color. So this was not possible earlier. So from now onwards, we can change the color. So that's one addition. Right, that's good in a way, right? So we can say, okay, query. So let's down about the query. And under that, we can say what? A query is a request of information. We can say, okay, query is a request of information from the related tables in the database. To answer the query, one or more tables could be combined. Let me give you some examples. Examples. Right? What are the examples? We can ask like things like, okay, list, first name and last name of the students. So let's assume that we have a, right? We have a table which consists of student information, and we are going to get the list of first name and last name. Another one, okay, list all the students, registration numbers. Yes, registration numbers, who has scored more than 90. Let's say for mathematics. Another one, list all student names who has scored more than 75 marks in the second term. So queries can be complex. You see that things are getting complex and complex. Yeah. So you see, queries basically you request information. The information is stored in tables. Now you have to figure it out. One problem though, data is scattered. Right? It's in different places. Let's take some examples. Those who finish, can you please raise your hands in the, if you have finished writing down, can you raise your hands in the reactions? Yes, that's great. You have different hand colors now. Some are customized. That's good. Right. Now, can you take the book? What I mean is get your textbook and then I want you to go to table 9.11 and 9.12. Go to tables 9.11 and 9.12. Right. Okay. Sorry. Okay, thanks. You can lower the hands now. Right. Go to 9.11. Page number. Let me give you the page number. So 9.11, you have, two tables, right? Let me show it for you. Why it's not copying here? Let's say Control A, Control C. Yeah, I'm going to say Control V. Ah, I don't know why. This is the problem. So it has not copied anywhere. Yeah, no. Nowhere to get copied. Let me save them temporary. And then, yeah, let me see what. I don't know. Yeah, it's not pasting. Let me check an image. Go to temp. Yeah. Okay, wow. Now we are getting this. So here is the data, right? Table 9.11. Okay, you have the data. Yes, we have two tables. The first one, 9.11, is a student table. Right? 9.12, it's a subject table. Right? Imashi, can you tell me what is the primary key in the table 9.11? Yes, Imashi. What is the prime? Yeah. Registration number. Okay. So 9.11, you see the registration number is underlined, which indicates the primary key. Right. Dulaj, can you tell me what is the primary key in 9.12? It's a candidate number. So you see subjects table, candidate number is underlined, so it's the primary key. So you remember whenever we did create a table, I said you have to use primary key. You have to identify the primary key, it's underlined. Okay, Dolina, can you tell me what are the foreign keys in table 9.11, student table?
Registration number.
So in student table, there's no foreign keys. There's no foreign keys. Now, to be a foreign key in a table, you have to have two conditions. One is that should be common to both tables. If you take registration number, yeah, it's common to both. First condition met. But the second one is also should met. The second one is you should connect the primary key of the other table. So if you look at the other table, the registration number is not the primary key of that table. So registration number in the student table is not a foreign key. So there's no foreign keys in table 1. Okay, Kanishka, do we have any foreign keys in the subject table? Yes, Malidu?
Yes, registration.
Yes. In the second table, if you look at the registration number, it's common with the previous table. And then it connects to the previous table's primary key, right? You are connected to the registration number in the student table, which is the primary key. So registration number in subject table is a foreign key. Right. Now, since we know, I want you to find out the answer for my question, right? Exercise. I want you to do this. Right. This is what I want you using tables 9.11 and 9.12 from the textbook. Answer the following. Right. I need you to answer these questions. The data is already given to you. Here is the first one. Here is the first one. list name and date of birth of all the students. Yeah. Can you type the answer in the chat? List name and date of birth of all the students.
Sir, chat disable.
Okay, sorry. Okay, can you check now? Okay, I got the answer from Jonal. Name and date of birth. So if you ask this, so here is the answer you will get, right? You will get name and date of birth. What are the names? We have Manoj, Dayaratna, and the date of birth 2014, right? So this is the answer for the first one. And the second one, yes. And then we have 4 to 2014. So that's the answer. Right. Are you comfortable up to now? Yes. One more. So I got the answer from Yonal and Imashi. Good. Let me give you another one. Second one. List we can have name of the guardian, of the student who got A pass in maths. Okay, can you quickly answer this question? We need the name of the guardian, but the guardian student should got A plus in the maths. So now we have to connect the two tables. The first one actually comes from the single table, so we have to connect. Now, whenever you connect, right, look at this registration number because that's the common thing. Yes. So look at the registration numbers 100. Here the 100. But the maths B, no. Then 101, 101, you connect this. Maths A, but what we need is name of the guardian. So K, fairs. I don't know how. Pies maybe, yeah. So the answer is yes, we can say K pies. So this is the query, right? So when we perform practicals, I'll come back again just to explain how we could do this, okay, during the practical. Right. Another exercise. Try this. And I want you to give me the answer. Okay. You can say exercise number 2. Okay. Using tables 9.20 and 9.21. In the textbook, answer the following. Yes. First one, name and date of birth of the students. Second one, list of names whose marks are greater than 180. Right. Yes. Now I want you to work on this and share the answer with me. Right, good. So let's start. Name and, okay, first of all, let me share the, if you don't have the tables with you, let me share it. So we have two tables. But there are some errors if you look at it. Table names are different, right? It should be the other way around. Now let me change it. Right, I am correcting this mistake. In my case, we have a student table and then we have marks table. I think the labels are wrong, isn't it? So the 9.20 is the marks table. 9.21 is a student table, isn't it? Okay. Okay, let me save this one as well. And let me open it here. Images, yes, second one. Okay, I have changed. Okay, here are the two tables. Yes, what is the answer for the first one? Yes. First one, what is the answer? Name and date of birth of the students. So you can look at student table, name and date of birth. So we have to have name and date of birth. Yes. So the answers are, Kavindu, Prabhashwara, and then 2005, 523, I'm not going to type the others. It goes on like this, right? So you can, I hope you can do. Second one, list of the names whose marks are greater than 180. So you have to connect and see 180 more than. First one, no. Second one, yes. What is the second one? Okay, Meena Devi. And then more than 180, no. Okay, last one. So the answers are for the second one should be, we have to get names, isn't it? Name. And first one, 1427, that is Meena Devi Ramanathan. Yes, that's the first one. And the last one, Rashmi Janodara. Okay, so here are the answers. And I got the correct answers from Malindu, Dulaj, Donal, Sitija, Tivanka, Dulina, Imashi. Okay, Thanks. Right. Now let's look at the last part. Finally, the reports. I hope now you got the feeling of queries and you don't have to do it like this in manually, but usually, we will get this, right? This is the fashion that we will use. Right. Now let's start with the last one, right? The theory we about to finish. Okay, let's write down reports. The other one is we can generate reports, right? You can generate reports. We can simply say reports are used to obtain printed copies of information from the related table, right? Basically, you can print it out. Now, even for the name list, you get it the list, and then you put an header, and it becomes a report. Right. Okay. With that one, we finish the theory. Right. The remaining time, we can do a couple of exercises. We can start looking at the related papers. So let me start. So what you're going to see now, actually, it's an exam question. Right. First, we'll look at 2017 O levels. Right. Question number 5. Question number 5. Okay, let's start. Again, use the chat to send me the answer, and then I will discuss the answer, right? So that's how I'm planning to do. First, I will give you the chance, you to answer. Again, you can make mistakes. So don't worry making mistakes here, as I always used to say. Right. Now, so let me get the image here. Okay, here is the first one. Right. I want you to answer this question in the chat. Assume that the following database tables are used to calculate. Again, you don't have to take down these things. Questions, forget about this. In the exam question anyway, I will share. I will share the exam questions. No, you don't have to write down the questions, Imashi. Just send me the answers. I will share the question, but put the heading 2017 O-level question number 5. Of course, it's paper 2. You have been given like 3 tables: customer data table, trade table, usage table. Okay. When you're writing answers, right? When you're writing answers, you have to be very careful. Don't just write down primary keys. You have to write 2 primary keys and their corresponding table. So you have to put the table name as well. Yes, what are the answers? Okay, Yunal gave me the answers for all the tables. That's a good point, although it asks 2. Okay, right. Let me put some answers here. Right. So what are the answers? Two primary keys and their corresponding table. Right. Let's start with the customer data table. Yes. What is the primary key? Customer data table. What is the primary key? Name. Yes. Can we take name? Usually we can't, right? Name. You might have the same name. Type. Again, repeated. You can't use type here. So only possibility here is account number. So we can say ACC underscore NO. This is how they have written. So you better follow the same. Okay, account number. Trade table.
Type.
Yes, rate table. Send to me. What is the primary key? Send to me in rate table. I want to hear the answer. Just send me. Yes, Sidhija. What is the primary key for the rate table? Okay, Tarushi. Primary key for the rate table.
Rate.
Ivanka. What is the primary key for the rate table?
Type.
So there were two answers I got. Is it type or is it rate? Rate is a number, right? And that number could be anything. So for the rate table, we should use type, not rate. Rate could be now same rate, but the types only few, right? Type. Okay, these two are enough in the exam, but for me, this is not enough. I need the answer for the last one as well. Yes, so usage table. Okay, what is the primary key for usage table? Yenula? Can we take month?
Can't.
We can't, it's repeated. Can we take account number? Remember, I told you in primary keys, no duplicate values are allowed. Account number is also not a primary key. Units? No, I don't think we can use unit. So what kind of a key now we are supposed to create here? If individual fields are not working. Combined key? Yes, we have a combined key. We use a name for that. What was it? If the primary key consists more than one field, we use a special name for that. Anyone?
Composite primary key.
It's a composite key. We don't say primary key, we say composite key. So the composite key means if the primary key has more than one field, we call a composite key. So usage table, we need a composite key. Can you think of what might be the primary key for the usage table? Now we have to take more than one field. Any guesses?
Account number.
Yes, account number alone will not sufficient. No? So we have to combine two. Account number and what?
Month.
Yes. So we can think about this. We can use month and account number. Okay, I have given you everything because knowledge of this is important to answer the next question, right? For the third one, usage table, you have to take both month and account number to find the primary key. Now that we know primary keys, right? Let's look at foreign keys. So these are the primary keys. Right. Now let me answer the second one. What are the foreign keys? When you say foreign key, we have to relate at least one table. Yes. Foreign keys. Now look at the first table, customer data table. Do you see any of the fields common in other tables? Name?
Yes,
Is
account
it
number.
we have account number is common with usage table. Is that all?
Type.
Yes, we have both account number and type. Now account number connects to the usage table. Is it a foreign key?
No.
Okay, it's no. Why?
Primary key එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න ඕන.
Yeah, it should connect to the primary key. Good point. So account number, it's connect to the usage table account number. So account number in usage table is not the primary key. So account number is not a foreign key. What about type? In customer data table, type. Type, is it common? Yes, it's common to both customer data and rate table. Right? And are you connecting to the primary key of the rate table?
Yes.
Yes, of course. So one foreign key for customer data table, right? The answer for the second one, we can say customer. We take different color this time. we can say customer data table. We have a one foreign key. What was the foreign key now? Yes.
Account.
No, not account number.
Type.
It should be type. Yes, exactly. So I type is a foreign key. It's a common with rate table, and it connects the primary key of the rate table. So type. Then rate table. Are there any foreign keys in rate table?
No?
Yes, there are no foreign keys in rate table. Why? Take type. It connects to type in customer data table, but it's not the primary key. Rate is not common. So for rate table, no foreign keys. Usage table. Are there any foreign keys?
Yes.
So usage table, which connects account number with account number in the customer data table. And are we going to connect customer table primary key? Yes, right? So the second one is for usage table. Usage table. Another foreign key is, yes, account number. Right? So I hope now you got the basic understanding of foreign keys. Right. Now, can you send me the answer for the third one in the chat? What is your answer for the third one? What would be the most suitable table in the database to add field custom address? Okay, we want to create custom address. And question asks, in which table we are going to insert? In which table we are going to insert?
Customer data table.
Exactly, because it consists of customer data. So we have name, account number, type. I think the address should come here. So answer for the third one. Answer for the third one is we can add this. Yes, customer data. We have to have customer data table. Okay, fourth one. We want to add a new customer. ABC Namas, type R and 120 units. So what tables we should update to put this information?
Usage table.
Okay, usage table. And then is that only usage table? Only?
And customer data table.
So question ask, what table should be updated? So one thing, customer data table. And we have to insert the name and the account number and the type. And then we have to update usage table as well. By usage, we have to keep track of so let's write down the answers. We have to combine two tables. Yes, customer data table. We can say customer data table. And then usage table. So these are the two tables. Right. Customer data table and usage table. How about the next one? Write down the updated rows and columns. Yeah. So when you write these updates for question number 5, you have to provide the details as well. So don't just type. Right now, for example, right, customer data table. So table name, then we can have name, account number, type. So you can include these three. Okay, what is the name of the person? We can say ABC Nawaz. We can say Nawaz. And account number we have given as 1005. The type is R. Customer data table, name, account number, and type. We can say ABC Nawaz 1005 R. Okay, can you give me the answer for the next one, usage table? How do you update the usage table? And can you give me the answer? Yes, usage table. And what are the possible values we can have?
Account number.
Yes, month, account number,
Units.
and then units. Yes, what's the month?
April.
Yes, you have to month is April. What is the account number?
1005.
Yes, it should be 1005. The number of units?
120.
Yeah, it should be 120. Good. So that's all. So for this one, now we have seen, right? So this is the answer for the 5th one. Last one. What table should be joined to run a query to find out total bill for AB Silva? total bill for AB Silva for January. Question asks what tables, right? Yes, AB Silva, we have to have customer data. We need it because we want to know the account number. And using the account number, we can get number of units. And then to get amount, you have to connect rate table as well.
customer data table and data table.
So what table should be joined? Total. So that means customer data table, that should be connected anyway. And then you look at the account number. AB Silva's account number is 1001. You go to usage table. And this is for January. That means account number is 1001. And then we have 185 units gone, let's say. Now to find the table, now we know the units. So we have to get the per unit figure. So we have R 10.5, C is 18.5. And finally, you have a rate table. So you need all the tables: customer data, rate table, and usage table. Okay, I think with that one, we can conclude for today's session. That's what I have actually planned to cover up today. The next week, we can do some evaluations, right? We can summarize the things we have discussed. Right. Any questions, please? So the sixth one, we have a couple of answers. We have to have customer details, rate table, and usage table, everything. Right. Okay. So with that one, we will conclude today. We'll meet again next week with some sessions. Yeah. Now I'm sending you 2017, 18, 19, 20. Right after this, you'll get question numbers 2017, 18, 19, and 20. If you already have, right, you can try, otherwise I will share. Okay, guys. Yes, Timanka. Okay, bye then. We'll meet next week.
Thank you.